Sprawl debt. Your city is bleeding money and forcing you to pay for it. American suburbs cost 3 times more per resident to maintain than dense neighborhoods. Phoenix sprawls across 517 square miles with infrastructure costs of $2,800 per person annually. Compare that to Brooklyn's $1,200 per person. Those wide suburban streets, scattered water pipes, and endless power lines create a maintenance nightmare. Your property taxes aren't covering the real costs. The infrastructure built in the 1950s is now crumbling, and cities can't afford to replace it. Stockton, California went bankrupt for this exact reason. It's a financial Ponzi scheme where new growth pays to maintain the old, but when construction stops, the system collapses. Because suburban sprawl created infrastructure debt they couldn't service. Every mile of suburban road costs $500,000 to maintain over 20 years. But that same mile generates only a fraction of that in tax revenue. The deficit is baked into the design. Cities built for growth, not maintenance. The math doesn't work when everything is spread out. Dense cities generate more tax revenue per acre while requiring less infrastructure per resident. Car trap. You're trapped in a transportation system designed to drain your wallet. The average American household spends $10,742 yearly on transportation. That's 16% of total income going to cars, gas, insurance, and parking. European households spend 13% because their cities offer choices. Phoenix forces car ownership with its 26 miles of average daily driving per resident. Manhattan residents drive 6 miles daily because alternatives exist. Car dependency is a poverty trap. Low-income families spend 25% of income on transportation they can't avoid. When gas prices spike from $3 to $5 per gallon, suburban families lose $2,000 annually to their commute. And they have no other choice. Public transit is a joke or non-existent. Sidewalks lead nowhere. This isn't freedom. It's a mandatory subscription to a transportation monopoly. Cities designed around cars force everyone into debt-financed transportation. A $30,000 car loan plus insurance. That's $8,400 in annual payments plus maintenance and repairs. Costs that exceed many people's rent. The transportation trap keeps families from building wealth because fixed costs devour savings. Tax drain. Your property taxes fund suburban lifestyles you can't afford. Dense downtown properties generate $20,000 per acre in tax revenue. Suburban strip malls generate $6,000 per acre while costing more to serve. You're subsidizing sprawl through your tax bill. Hartford, Connecticut properties pay $8,000 annually in taxes because wealthy suburbs drain city resources. Urban residents subsidize suburban schools, roads, and services through regional tax sharing. In city after city, the same pattern emerges. The few square miles of the dense downtown generate a massive tax surplus. That surplus is then spent maintaining miles of money-losing suburban infrastructure. Dense neighborhoods are cash cows funding money-losing suburban expansion. Your city council approves new developments that lose money long-term because they generate short-term impact fees. So why does your city council approve this? Short-term fees. These projects generate quick cash to pay today's bills. But they leave future taxpayers with a mountain of debt. The development industry profits while cities accumulate hidden debt. Suburban shopping centers require expensive road improvements, utility extensions, and ongoing maintenance that exceeds their tax contribution. Health cost, car-dependent cities are making you sick and sending you the bill. Suburban residents walk 30% less than urban residents. Physical inactivity costs America $117 billion annually in healthcare spending. Atlanta's sprawl correlates with higher obesity, diabetes, and heart disease rates compared to walkable cities. Air pollution from car-dependent transportation causes $150 billion in annual health costs. Houston's car dependency alone creates $2.1 billion annually in pollution-related health costs. Your insurance premiums reflect these regional health patterns. Walkable neighborhoods reduce healthcare costs by $1,600 per resident annually through increased physical activity. Traffic injuries cost suburban families $40,000 per serious accident. This car dependency also creates profound social isolation, leading to significant mental health costs. The result? Studies show depression rates increase by 25% in car-dependent suburbs. Emergency response times increase in sprawling suburbs, raising healthcare costs when minutes matter. The built environment determines health outcomes more than individual choices in car-dependent cities. School debt. Educational inequality is built into your city's design. Suburban school districts spend $15,000 per student, while urban districts spend $12,000 despite higher needs. The entire system is funded by property taxes. This creates a vicious cycle. Good schools can only exist where homes are already expensive. Rich suburbs capture education funding through exclusive zoning that requires expensive housing. Connecticut's school funding system requires towns like Bridgeport to tax residents at double the rate of wealthy Greenwich for worse schools. Housing location determines educational opportunity because school districts follow municipal boundaries. Parents move to expensive suburbs for schools, driving housing costs up 20% in good districts. Student loan debt increases when public schools fail, forcing families into private education. School choice policies drain urban district funding while benefiting suburban districts. Transportation costs hit families choosing schools outside their district. The schools themselves are often designed for cars, not communities, built on cheap land far from anyone's home. This guarantees a lifetime of busing costs and morning traffic. Families spend $2,400 annually on extra gas and vehicle wear from school-related driving. Geographic inequality in education perpetuates economic segregation across generations. Time theft. Your commute is stealing your life and wealth. Americans spend 54 minutes daily commuting. Even at minimum wage, that lost time is worth over $1,800 a year. Los Angeles commuters lose 119 hours yearly to traffic congestion. That's 3 weeks of unpaid work sitting in traffic. Long commutes correlate with divorce, health problems, and career limitations. Suburban workers change jobs less frequently because geographic constraints limit opportunities. Remote work threatens suburban real estate values because location becomes less important. Time theft compounds. Longer commutes mean higher transportation costs plus lost productive time. European cities with better transit save residents 2 hours daily compared to American car commutes. Wasted commute time prevents skill development, family time, and economic opportunities. That's time you could have spent starting a side business, learning a new skill, or simply being with your family. The system steals both your money and your potential. Geographic job constraints force workers to accept lower wages rather than impossible commutes. The time poverty cycle traps suburban residents in car-dependent lifestyles they can't afford to change. Utility drain. Infrastructure costs scale with density, and American suburbs fail this test. Water pipes serving 10 houses per mile cost $5,000 per household to maintain. Urban pipes serving 50 units per block cost $800 per household. Electricity distribution follows the same pattern. Suburban power lines cost 3 times more per customer than urban networks. Internet service suffers in low-density areas because infrastructure costs exceed revenue potential. Rural broadband subsidies transfer urban wealth to suburban connectivity. Sewer systems in sprawling suburbs require expensive pump stations and long pipe runs. Stormwater management costs explode with suburban impermeability and distance. Utility companies pass infrastructure costs to all customers through rate averaging. How do they hide the true cost? Through a system called rate averaging. Urban customers pay higher rates. That extra money subsidizes expensive infrastructure for sprawl. Urban customers subsidize suburban service through this pricing structure. Climate change increases utility infrastructure costs as extreme weather damages scattered suburban systems more than robust urban networks. Climate risk, climate change hits car-dependent cities hardest financially. Hurricane Sandy cost suburban Long Island $50 billion while Manhattan recovered quickly. Sprawling cities suffer worse flooding because pavement prevents water absorption. Wildfire insurance costs force suburban families into climate bankruptcy in California and Colorado. Why? Because private insurers are retreating from high-risk zones. Mortgages become impossible to secure. Homeowners are left trapped with worthless assets. Heat waves become deadlier in car-dependent suburbs that lack tree cover and transit options. Climate adaptation costs multiply with density. Protecting scattered suburban infrastructure costs 5 times more than compact urban systems. The real-world cost difference is staggering. For example, Miami estimates it will need $8 billion to protect its suburban areas, versus just $1.6 billion for its downtown. Sea level rise threatens suburban coastal development built on cheap marshland. Drought increases water costs for suburban lawns and swimming pools. Climate insurance redlining makes suburban mortgages impossible in risk zones. Carbon taxes and gas price volatility hit car-dependent residents harder than urban alternatives. The climate transition strands suburban infrastructure investments in worthless assets. Please like this video and subscribe. Which of these reasons do you feel the most in your own life?